Hi, huge movie fanatic Nate coming back at you to review the um, kind of more what I would regard as more of a lame-ass follow-up to Uli Lomel's what I would regard as more or less a fantastic low-budget schlock crap kind of movie, which was The Boogeyman. That was the last review I just did. If you haven't seen my review for The Boogeyman, please check it out. But I'm coming at you, a few people may even know this because it's really obscure, that there was a sequel to the 1980 film The Boogeyman, which on the box is credited as produced by Uli Lomel but not directed, but then I think on like IMDb it says he directed it. So I think that maybe after it was done he didn't want to be he didn't want to call himself the director, which I wouldn't want to either, after it was completed, because this is pretty lame. This is one of those rare occasions, luckily rare occasions, much like the sequel to Silent Night Deadly Night, where a great majority of this movie is highlights from the first movie, unfortunately. And I got this on VHS back, and I've told you guys several times before in the past when all video updates were closing and stuff, and movie galleries and stuff were actually not closing, they were purging their VHS. That they were selling, like, I think you could get like 20 tapes for $10 or something like that, and of course that works out to be, no, I'm just kidding, 50 cents a tape. So which is, fantastic. I've already stated in reviews past that, video updates slash turn into movie galleries had a fantastic, VHS horror section. So over the, months of all their VHS purge, I picked up quite a bit of their horror VHS, and even like sci-fi, action VHS, whatever, but I'd say primarily horror VHS, and the Boogeyman 2 VHS is one of the titles I picked up. And having just revisited the Boogeyman recently, I revisited the Boogeyman 2, and I hadn't seen this for quite a while, and now I know why I haven't seen it for quite a while. It's really ridiculous. Let me start off by saying that I kind of like the opening credits, which is like this wide lens shot on the back of this, like, it's like a Cadillac convertible driving into California. It looks like Beverly Hills and all this shit. And it's kind of this wide Kubrickian, wide, lens, on the back, which shows, Susanna Love. I think she's like in the same dress she was in Boogeyman, the first one, and this guy who ends up being like the butler of this guy, and later on in the movie. And so it's kind of cool, to show that driving a little bit with palm trees or whatever, cut to a credit. And one of the things I like about the sequel, one of the only things I like about this movie, is the updated the theme, a little bit, and made it a little more, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is. I'll just say they updated the Boogeyman theme from the first movie, meaning the music, like the score, and gave it more, like I can't, I can't do it, but we'll just say, long story short, they just added to the Boogeyman theme some of the music, which is kind of cool, one of the best things about this movie. So long story short, she, at the end of the Boogeyman, Lacey says her and her son and Willie are gonna go on a road trip and whatever. But, we kind of just, since we can't get all those actors back, and probably Susanna Love's the only one who's willing to come back, we kind of axed that, and it turns out to be just her taking a trip out to California, visiting a friend or whatever. This is lame. Basically, this whole movie takes place in one location, probably just Uli Lomel's house, or someone he knows' his house, with, like this swanky ass, little bit of an upscale, like, Hollywood house with the pool and all this shit. Whole movie takes place there. Like, they never, like, the only time they ever leave the house is at the end, when they go to just some, just dirt, just a lot out in the middle of nowhere. So like I say, it's really lame. Uli Lomel actually plays, which is funny, I think, a movie maker in this movie. He's one of the top billings. And his character is all the characters suck. I mean, they're all just bland, boring, but his acting is so, like, if you're going to get in front of the camera, having previously been behind it, why not have a little bit of, like, what's the point if you're just going to be blah? But anyway, it's his movie, he can do what he wants. But so the director of Boogeyman, and presumably this one, is actually featured in this movie as basically himself, I guess. And I guess this movie, in a weird way, if you really want to analyze it, is kind of, you know, maybe a precursor to Scream in that it's kind of a self-aware movie, but it doesn't really get that far. It doesn't really. It's like it has a cool idea it's like it's got a cool idea, but it doesn't do anything with, of being like a horror movie that's, you know, gonna take advantage of, which I would imagine, a modest success of the first movie by making a second one, and the movie kind of says shit like that, you know, in it about the film business, obviously, because the movie takes place in Hollywood and with a filmmaker and who's struggling or whatever. So it's kind of like Barton Fink when the Coen brothers were like, had writing blocks, so they just wrote a movie about a writer who had a writing block. You know, maybe Uli Lamel was just like, shit, I don't know what else to do, let's just do this over the weekend. Boogeyman 2, you know, we just film a little bit and then put highlights from the first movie into it. But Boogeyman 2, a complete disappointment. You know, the best thing about it is like the reworked, you know, enhanced Boogeyman theme, which is kind of cool. The characters are lame. The whole movie is just, you know, basically Lacey telling different people. This stupid Hollywood party comes over and these people are introduced, and it's got this just lit so stupidly. It's like completely black with lit from the bottom when they, hi, I'm whatever, and you know, it's always a couple of couples that introduce themselves, and then you cut to a normal Susanna Love or whatever her name is, Lacey, and saying hi, and then we'll cut to another couple lit from below, and it's just like, hi baby, you know, we're swinging, and it's just stupid, absolutely stupid. So the movie, you know, then Lacey will tell a little bit about, like I say, it starts off with the highlights. I'm pretty sure it shows every kill or every event scene from the first movie in it. So if you haven't seen the first one, maybe you like it more because it's actually, you know, I guess seeing the highlights of the first movie is cool, I suppose, if you haven't seen it before, you know, you see the lame-ass kills of the, you know, that are exclusive to the second one. But anyway, long story short, you know, I will say that, you know, after they do that and they stop with the flashback shit and they go on to the whole movie, I think that, yeah, very forgettable. But like I say, it all takes place in one location, this more or less upscale, I mean, it's really not even an upscale, it's just got a pool, you know. This house, and it's like a party, and all the party people, you know, go off, you know, couples. I think everyone dies in pairs, I think, like man and woman couples, which is weird, you know. Some of the kills are really, you know, basically this chauffeur, this butler of this Uli Lamel character, I believe, is just some guy who never talks, who ends up going, Lacey's carried around this, you know, piece of the mirror in her little purse or whatever for some reason, just so she could have a sequel. But for some stupid reason, this chauffeur butler guy is drawn to this purse and takes out the mirror, and he's got like a white glove on, chauffeur glove with a hole cut in it, and they put some mirror there, and it's just like, ah! It's really a lame sequel. So it's like the mirror kind of possesses this butler guy, but I don't think the butler guy actually kills anyone because you see tools and implements floating and shit, like, you know, like a fire poker and fire grabber and shit with horse heads that are like going like this and galloping. It's just like, you just want to go like this and just go, oh geez, you know. Some of the standout kills are actually like, must have been a newfangled thing in the early 80s, electric toothbrush, which is like, actually I think it's just floating or something like that. Yeah, it's floating and vibrating, and it goes in this guy's mouth, and then this you know, like a vibrating toothbrush ends up coming out the guy's back of his neck and shit, which is just like, who would ever think to kill someone with a toothbrush? But apparently Uli Lamel did, or someone associated with them. So the kills, there are like, I don't know, I think there's like 6 new kills in this movie, but they're so nothing that you can't even remember them. That's probably one of the standout ones. Oh, some chick gets, she's like in the garage and she's like looking around for something in the, you know, behind a car, and this ladder comes in and just hits her in the ass, and, you know, her mouth gets stuck onto the tailpipe, and the car starts and asphyxiates her, which is kind of funny and like, what the hell. So this is mostly a non-recommended movie, unfortunately. I mean, if you want to just see lame-ass kills, just fast forward, I guess, to the last third of the movie or something like that, and just laughable kills that are all done in the same vein of like flickering, almost like slow strobe light effect, because if you can't do anything, you know, well, they usually cut around it or not show it like that, and it's just like, You know, it's all like it's like just floating things like garden shears and hedge trimmers and just, I think there's like at least, I don't know, maybe there's like 6 new kills, and it sounds like a lot, but they're kind of like whatever. One guy gets just a hose around his neck, and it's just so in closing, stars for Boogeyman 2. I guess we'll just give it 1 star. We'll give it 1 star, and that's just for, you know, I don't know, just to, even if she's not doing anything but telling the story of the first movie, just seeing the character Lacey back one final time, portrayed again by Susanna Love, and the newly, you know, enhanced Boogeyman theme. But, you know, I guess most of that 1 star out of 4 is for, you know, I guess the laughability of, like, you know, the new kills that are done for part 2 are just kind of like, you know, so dumb that it's maybe a little bit entertaining. So that's my review of Boogeyman 2. I actually did look up Uli Lamel on the net, and it looks like he's made, like right now, which I can't imagine the movie's anything, there is a Boogeyman, I can't remember what it's called, maybe I'll put the title on the screen, like a 3rd Boogeyman. It's a Boogeyman, anyway, the title's on the screen, but that would be interesting. I'm sure it's just, I mean, completely stupid, but whatever. That's kind of interesting. That he's actually revisiting the Boogeyman thing, which he should have, in my opinion, maybe milked a little more than he did. But I guess that's it. My review of the Boogeyman 2. Doesn't hold a candle to the first one, but you know, sequels generally don't. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.